Hey there, YouTubers. Stampede Survival here to make another video. I've decided to make a series of videos on either past wilderness survival kits that I've made up over the years or past EDCs, and also some hypothetical kits that you could throw together to make yourself your own kit. And the whole intention behind this is just to give all of you out there hopefully some fresh ideas on possible configurations for your kits. Some of these you may have seen before, so, there could be some new fresh ideas. This first one I'm going to do is just an old pencil pouch that I bought a while back, and I had a wilderness survival kit in it, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the contents of this, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the contents out, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, YouTubers, I'm back. Here's the contents of my old wilderness survival kit. I think I have all the bases covered with this: food, water, shelter, and fire, and also first aid, all tucked away in this little pencil pouch. I'll go ahead and go over the contents here real quick. For shelter, I've got a poncho here. It's a blaze orange, so it'll attract attention if you are lost out in the wilderness. And you can use this for waterproofing, obviously, or even catching water, things of that nature. It's not a real expensive one, but this will definitely do the job, and it'll save you a lot of time trying to waterproof your shelter with natural items. So that's definitely a good thing to have. I also carry some 550 paracord. There's tons of uses for this out there. It's indispensable though when you're trying to build a shelter. Use it for tying your branches together, making a main line to drape your poncho over. But there's a lot of uses for that, so it's definitely something you would want to consider having in a survival kit. But make sure you buy the good stuff though. You don't want to buy the real inexpensive cheap stuff. It might fall apart on you. This is the military spec 550 cord with the 7-inner strands, but it works really well. So you definitely want to keep something like that in your survival kit. As far as fire goes, I definitely have a Light My Fire fire steel, and a lot of people have these. These things work great. They work even when they're wet. Makes a really hot spark, but it works really well. So definitely recommend having one of these. I also recommend practicing with one of these before you get in a survival situation. The first few times you use it, it may not work the way you think it's going to work. You really need to have a good tinder to make these things work properly. It won't just light anything that you put a spark to. So this is definitely something that's worthwhile to keep in a kit. And then I also have, I'll start with this, my Vaseline-soaked cotton balls. And I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing me talk about this stuff, but it works so great, and I keep it in pretty much every kit. But you just fluff it up, put a spark to it, and a full-size cotton ball with a good amount of Vaseline on it, it'll burn for 2 or 3 minutes. So it's definitely something to keep in there, because sometimes it's tough to find dry tinder. But if you keep one of these in a match case or in a plastic baggie to keep it dry, actually even when it's wet it probably still work because it's got Vaseline on it. I haven't tried it wet, but this stuff works really well. So, but I would definitely recommend keeping that in a kit. And then also a waterproof match vial. And this has strike anywhere matches and a couple of strikers. And this has the rubber O-ring to keep it waterproof. Because that would be a miserable thing to be in a survival situation, have your matches get all soaking wet. It also has a flint striker on the bottom. That's definitely a handy thing to have, because if you run out of matches, you can still strike that with your knife and get a spark to make a fire. I keep a small thing of duct tape. This is just an old business card, and I wrapped it with some clear duct tape. This thing's great for repairing equipment. It can assist with shelter building, lots of things like that. So this is a good thing to have. You can actually use this as a makeshift bandage as well. Cut a piece of your t-shirt off, put it over the wound, put a piece of the duct tape on. Just make sure you don't get the tape on the wound itself, because when you go to take it off, it's going to tear back open. So lots of uses for duct tape, though. This flashlight here, this is one of the it's a Stylus Pro, the Streamlight Stylus Pro. It's the 2 AAA version, and this thing is an outstanding light. very bright, 2 AAA batteries. It'll probably last, I forget what the specs are on it, but it'll last several hours. I use it all the time. Batteries last a long time in it. Definitely a light worth carrying. It's lightweight, very bright. But I love this light. I use it quite a bit. And that was one that I had in this kit for a long time. But now that light kind of floats around between different kits. Sometimes I even take it to work with me. But it's a great light to have. I also, in my kit, I have a small jigsaw blade, and I wrapped some duct tape around the end of it to make a makeshift handle. And surprisingly, these things work. I actually saw this on YouTube. I thought it was a good idea. I gave it a try, and it works pretty well. You know, you're not going to cut down a tree with it, but you know, small, 1-inch branches, 2 inches, whatever, you know, it'll cut through it. It just it works pretty well. So, and then also I carry around a bigger knife, and this is actually a Winchester, and this is actually an inexpensive knife. I think I paid $10 for it on sale at Walmart. But it's a lock blade. It's an easy open knife. It's got a belt clip on it, and it works really well, and it holds a nice sharp edge. I use this all the time. It's starting to get beat up a little bit. It opens real easily. It's got a good edge on it. It's got a little some serrations down here at the bottom. Highly recommend this knife. I know there's more expensive models out there, but I'm a firm believer in you don't always have to buy the most expensive equipment. I've got some buddies that are gearheads, and they have to have the latest, greatest, most expensive things, and I don't think you have to do that. Stick within your means. Don't go out and buy the most expensive thing just because your buddies have it if you can't afford it. So, but I really like this knife. Good knife. I also carry a small. This is also a Smith's. I was going to say Smith & Wesson, but just a Smith's knife sharpener, and this actually works surprisingly well for what it is. I don't have a fancier knife sharpening kit. I think I might invest in one of those though, because I've been hearing lots of good things about them. But just for a quick touch up on your knife, this actually works surprisingly well. It's got a coarse carbide blade up here for getting nicks out of your blade, and it also has a fine ceramic area down here to put a finer edge on the blade. And I've used this quite a bit, and it actually works pretty well. So I went and kept that in the kit just in case your knife gets dull out in the wild and you need this to keep it going. So, and then also in the kit, I carry some Kleenex. You can use this for toilet paper, blowing your nose. You can use it as fire tinder if you run out of cotton balls with Vaseline. Multiple uses for this. You can use it also as a bandage. Put this over a wound and put the duct tape over top of it. Lots of uses for that. I carry a small first aid kit in here as well, and this just has some multiple band-aids, some antiseptic cleaning wipes, some alcohol pads, just the basics to get you by in case you cut yourself. You don't want to get an infection out in the wild, so I made sure to keep that in the kit. I also have a small fishing kit. A lot of you guys have seen my fishing tubes that I carry around. Not fishing tubes, but just tubes in general. Bought these at a hobby store. They're fairly inexpensive. They're watertight. Got a nice tight seal on the top. Pops down in there. But in here I've got some fishing line, some hooks, some sinkers, a bobber. But I also have some sewing stuff in here. I've got a spool of, not only do I have a spool of fishing line, but I have a spool of thread. But I also have a needle and some safety pins for doing some gear repair. These tubes are handy though. It keeps everything nice and tight so you don't lose everything, and they're clear so you can see what's inside them. But definitely a good thing to have in a kit. I also have a pencil with some electrical tape wrapped around it. You can use this for writing down notes, making maps, marking a trail. Lots of things you can do with this. Write some notes on a piece of paper, stick it on a tree, and you can leave notes for people that are looking for you. I carry a bundle of zip ties. I carry these in a lot of kits. 101 uses for these things. So, shelter building, gear repair, your button breaks on your shirt, you can zip tie. Put a hole in the shirt and zip tie it through the other existing hole. Holds it together. So, those things are great to have. Carry a pad of paper that goes along with the pencil. Write notes, make maps, all kinds of things. You can use the paper as a fire starter. These things are great to have, so I keep them in there. And then I also carry a small signal mirror. And you can use this to get things out of your eyes, use it for signaling. So this is a great thing to have. So I make sure and keep that in pretty much every kit that I carry, as a good mirror. And that looks like that's about all of it. So that was the contents of my old wilderness kit that I used to carry around. But I hope you liked it. I hope there may be some fresh ideas here. A lot of it's probably very similar. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, sorry about that, is the Altoids tin. And I use this mainly for water. Put water in here and you can boil it. And when I pack it into my kit, I actually put some of the smaller items inside of this, put it down in there to conserve space. But yeah, you can actually boil water in these, and that's the main purpose for it. So I keep that in there. And then also, lastly, this is the kit that it all comes in. It's an old pencil pouch. It opens wide up. Everything fits in there. It's pretty deep. It's got a zipper that goes all the way around. And I like it. I buy a lot of different pouches and bags and experiment with different wilderness kits and survival kits. And like I said, this series of videos is going to cover all that. I'm going to make several videos on different possibilities on different kits, and I hope you tune back for more videos. I hope you like this one, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. God bless everyone.